up, guys? It's your boy, Barca Boy 103. Today we're going to be reacting to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours, where there is a lot of topics to discuss and a lot of controversial topics to discuss as well. Firstly, Arda Guler, the man who's been talking to Barcelona for days now, has apparently decided to join Real Madrid this summer. We do have an update on his decision for his future club this summer, and also we do have huge advancements for the signings of both Fresneda and Oriol Romeu at the club by the end of this week, maybe even beginning of next week. We have an update on all the sales, including Franck Kessie, Clement Lenglet, Collado, Dest, Araujo's future update, even an update on the future of Nico Gonzalez, Abde, and Pablo Torre. But one of the big stories has been that Jules Kounde is now open and willing to play at right back again for the upcoming season after Xavi has convinced him. We'll talk about that, and also some registration updates on those renewals for Gavi, Araujo, Peña, Alonso, Sergio Dest as well. But before we get into it, make sure you guys smash that like button down below. Let's try to get the 200 likes this video. Be very much appreciated. Also, if you're new, make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, before we get into the video, this video is sponsored by Number One Foot. Number One Foot is one of the best jersey football replica websites on the market. They have a variety of items at fantastic prices. I have here some with me. Firstly is the home kit for this season. Excellent quality. The badge is nice and smooth. Spotify logo is printed on to perfection, and I also even have a jacket as well. This is one of the training jackets that the players wear. There's a logo there on the right hand side, zipper and everything. They have some badges here, the Nike logo as well. The quality is absolutely, feels real, and also the prices are unbeatable. And if you use the discount code BOY at checkout, you do get an additional 15% off your orders. That's BOY. Use that checkout, you get 15% off your order, and all orders above $80 as well will get free shipping. So what are you waiting for? Top link down in the description down below and get your new football kits today. Let's start off with the transfer news over the past 48 hours. Now, we're first going to be discussing, of course, Barcelona's number one priority for the summer, and that is to reinforce the pivot position. And currently the number one target in said position is Oriol Romeu, and we do have an update on his potential signing for Barcelona, which could be happening this week. Luis Rojo from Marca has come out saying that Barcelona have decided to go for Oriol Romeu. Xavi is betting heavily on the player, but there is no clear unanimity at the club, although Barcelona have started negotiations to bring him in. Fran Martinez from Deportivo came out saying that after the last meetings, Oriol Romeu is the option that generates consensus due to profile, style, and cost. The coaches insist on signing a pivot before anyone else. Advancements are expected at some point this week. Jordan Miro confirmed the news and also saying that Oriol Romeu's agent has received 2 calls from Saudi Arabia. I tell you what, Saudi Arabia are moving mad this summer. Barcelona continue to work on the signing, and Xavi's already called him for the moment the player ensures that he will either stay at Girona or join Barcelona. So currently Romeu does not contemplate going to the Saudi Arabia League. Although this Barcelona move does fall through, he's offered a lot of money. You never know, it changes anyone's mind. Now, Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo has come out saying that Barcelona have indeed taken the first steps to sign Oriol Romeu. They've contacted Girona, who for the moment refer only to his 10 million euro release clause, but Barcelona want to negotiate. And although Deco, of course the new football director, does have some doubts about Oriol Romeu and is looking for other profiles in the market. First of all, Deco's been doing absolutely world-class job so far. On that statement, I have been thinking, I want to bring in Oriol Romeu, but I also want to give Nico a run as well. I understand the club or the coaching staff, you could say, don't think Nico is a pivot, but you need 2 players per position. If we're bringing in Oriol Romeu, for me, it is not good enough. I think we should be bringing in another player on top of that, or you bring in a good player and then have Nico as well in that position to, coverage and competition, although the club or the coach staff don't really see him as a pivot. Now, we could be signing 2 pivots because there has been the re-emergence of Sofiane Amrabat, who also Gabriel Sanz is reporting that Sofiane Amrabat has not given up and still trusts that Barcelona will send him a proposal this summer. Now, if you tell me we sign Amrabat and Romeu, I'll be all over it. I think Amrabat's a really good player. Of course, I've said it a million times on the channel. I will say it again. He is not a pivot. My hope is that we sign him for the pivot. He does that job for a year. With Ben Oriol Romeu next summer, then he can move up in the midfield, and then we can really enforce it when we have more money to spend and less priorities to strengthen as well. Of course, this summer you need a pivot, you need a right back, you need another midfielder on the interior. We could look at a potential forward. We got Vitor Roque, then of course a striker. Next summer we could say all we really need is really a strong pivot and maybe to enforce one of the winger positions if Ansu Fran have another absolutely terrible season. Nonetheless, we'll wait and see. Again, Oriol Romeu is still the top target, and he will cost the 10 million euro release clause. Again, I've heard 5 million, I've heard 6, 7, 8. I don't know the exact digits of the release clause, but we have to activate it because Girona refused to negotiate. So we'll wait and see how the advancements go in the next few days. But if Barcelona are signing a pivot very soon, it is going to be Oriol Romeu. Now, another midfielder who Barcelona have been or were, you could say, targeting was Arda Guler. We were expecting a confirmation of his signing over the past 24 to 40 hours. We actually got the Vitor Roque. Here we go. I uploaded the video on the channel if you want to check that out. But we're also expecting the Arda Guler one because we were hearing his decision was imminent. Now, his decision was imminent last night. 2 days before that, it was just nothing but optimism and positive reports from Barcelona. Here is an example. Roger Delero from Deportivo came out saying that Barcelona are confident that Arda Guler will offer their offer between today and tomorrow. Of course, yesterday, he will evaluate all the offers and Barcelona are ahead in the race, and Barcelona did not rule out having an answer by yesterday. Agreement between Barcelona and Feyenoord is there. 7.5 million release clause paid in various installments, and he stays there until 2024. Guler is also attracted by the prospect of playing for Barcelona. He would prefer to arrive now, but he's not ruled out growing in Turkey for another year if he cannot be registered this summer. So this is all the positive news we got, right? We then heard that Guler arrived at the Fenerbahce office. He's about to communicate his decision. He communicated it, and he's joined Real Madrid essentially. Fabrizio Romano is reporting that Real Madrid has submitted an improved bid for Arda Guler last night. It is more than his release clause, around 20 million euros, and Real Madrid sources expect Fenerbahce to accept the deal. Of course, they included the bid includes bonuses, add-ons, and taxes are part of the agreement in the contract to trigger the release clause. So the total package will be around 20. So they are offering 2.5 million euros to Real Madrid more than Barcelona. And Real Madrid's official bid to Fenerbahce for Arda Guler will include sell-on clause as well. It was a big part of the original contract between the player and also his agent. And negotiations have now entered the final stages and key hours ahead. The Madrid media is all over this. Marca, Diario ARS, they're all reporting that Arda Guler has decided to join Real Madrid, and also some sources as well in Turkey have confirmed this. Now, from Barcelona, we're hearing that, still optimism, don't worry, this news is a few days old, it's just coming out now. Turkey sources are saying that, Fenerbahce have accepted both Barcelona and Real Madrid's offer. The final green light is still on the Arda Guler side. He's agreed personal terms with Barcelona and with Real Madrid, and Fenerbahce haven't agreed with Barcelona because they're going to pay the release clause. They can't change that, but they're going to give a bit more than the release clause. So it's just down to the player, and the Madrid media is very confident, and the Barcelona media is saying tranquilo. For me, this makes no sense. A couple things. One, Real Madrid have an absolutely stocked midfield. Toni Kroos, Modric, Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Bellingham. There's 6 right there that Arda Guler already has to get ahead of him. Now, of course, he could play on the right-hand side, but on the right-hand side, you have Rodrigo, you have Valverde. The competition is, relentless there. That's one thing. If he joins Barcelona, he'll have a better chance of getting to the midfield. Yeah, Pedri, Xavi, De Jong, and Gundogan. Gundogan's on a 2-year deal. He'll be gone soon, although you could say Toni Kroos and Modric on a 1-year deal. The fact they're already on a 1-year deal is a bit strange. There were also reports saying that Modric and Kroos called Arda Guler to convince him as well. And then you have the story about Deco. Now, Deco traveled to Istanbul, talked to Guler, convinced him, came back, blah, blah, blah. And it took one meeting with Real Madrid to change his mind. If you do remember the early reports on Arda Guler, they were saying that Arda Guler wants to join Real Madrid, but he's open to joining Barcelona. Which means we were always second fiddle. Seen a lot of people on Twitter saying, match the offer, Madrid 20 million. That's not the issue. The issue is now down to the player. Fenerbahce cannot deny Barcelona's offer because it's his release clause in his contract that if someone pays it, they have to let him go. Real Madrid offering 20 million euros just makes their relationship good with Fenerbahce. Again, our relationship with Fenerbahce and their president is already exceptional. It just doesn't make sense that he decides that he negotiates for Barcelona for 4, 5, 6, 7 days, then changes his mind in 1 day or 2 days with Real Madrid, which shows that Real Madrid was always priority. Now, the quote, if you deny Barcelona, you never join them again, from Johan Cruyff. It's flying around Twitter and Instagram lately. Look, if Guler wants to join Real Madrid, we back out. I mean, we don't waste our time, our breath, our efforts, no more. The player wants to go to our rivals, he can piss off. If he's still deciding, I would stay on the table. He's a fantastic player. I do hope he joins Barcelona. Again, it's not definitive yet. He's agreed personal terms with Barcelona and Real Madrid, so anything can happen. We're still waiting for the final green light. Again, Romano has never said, here we go. He just said that Guler has agreed to personal terms with Real Madrid. So it's very 50-50 right now. You could even say favor Real Madrid because they've come in and said this. But again, Barcelona sources have been always optimistic. Laporte has been talking about Guler in the media for days and days and days now. So it's going to suck that we're going to lose a player like this, especially in the way that we did as well. But if he doesn't want to join, walk away. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your breath. We already got the main target. I'd rather sign Vitor Roque than Arda Guler for me. There will be another 18-year-old talent in the midfield some point in the future. It is what it is, but we'll see how things play out in the next few hours. I do expect Arda Guler to join the Real Madrid now, and I think Barcelona should back away, not get into a bidding war. Don't try and convince him. That's just my personal opinion, but wait and see if the club decides. So again, Arda Guler has agreed personal terms with both Barcelona and Real Madrid. He is favored towards Real Madrid at the moment, where his decision officially should be coming in the next few hours. Now, the third and final player who is also very close to joining Barcelona is Ivan Fresneda. Again, that club are moving very quickly and doing this in a very fantastic way. Vitor Roque, here we go yesterday. Arda Guler decision coming in. Oriol Romeu advancements, and now Ivan Fresneda. Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo has come out saying that there will be a meeting between Ivan Fresneda and Barcelona to find out if he will be signed. Fresneda wants to join Barcelona and will provide maximum facilities, but he wants to clarify if Barcelona will finally make a concrete move for him or not. The player has some doubts as Barcelona asks for patience, even more so after some information indicates that Jules Kounde will be playing at right back next season. We'll talk about that later on. AC Milan are also pressing for him as well. So Fresneda wants to join. He just wants a bit of reassurance and a bit of, proof that Barcelona will go for him, and that has apparently come. Samuel Marsden from ESPN is reporting that Barcelona are closing in on signing Ivan Fresneda, but it is dependent on the club being able to create salary space first. Barcelona are putting final touches to a 5-year contract with Fresneda's camp and are hoping to reach an agreement with Valladolid. Barcelona believe the transfer could be completed for around 10 million euros. Of course, the release clause is 20, so that is a steal and a half. Dest's departure can be key to bring Fresneda to the club. Again, we'll talk about Dest later on as well. On Fresneda, look, you're getting him for half his release clause with Valladolid getting relegated. Does favor you. One of the best up-and-coming Spanish right-backs alongside Arda Martinez. You can't go wrong. Half the release clause price, you're getting a good quality player. Now with Kounde, we'll talk about Kounde later on. Again, you still have to sign a right back. Yeah, you could say on paper we have Sergino Dest, we have Julian Araujo, and now you have Kounde. You have Roberto, then you want to bring Ivan Fresneda on top of that. Look, Dest has no future, Araujo's in question, and you don't want Kounde there for an entire season. Yes, Kounde said, yes, I'll come in and play for a bit. Okay, does not mean he'll start week in, week out. Maybe he'll start for the first few games of the season as Fresneda gets integrated, but I think this is a player that we have to bring in. We must sign a natural right back, priority. And if you sell Dest for 10 million, boom, there's your fee for Fresneda. I think easily you can get Dest 10 million, 5 million, because again, everyone knows that Barcelona wants to sell, so it does, make it difficult to sell players for a good value, so we'll wait and see on that. But again, Ivan Fresneda very close to agreeing personal terms with Barcelona, 5-year contract on the table, around 10 million euro fee, and yet again, Deco getting one of the players that he wanted, and again, more young talent, promising talent, joining the young Barcelona squad. Let's now discuss the players who have been rumored to leave Barcelona over the past 48 hours. First up is a big one, and it is Franck Kessie, who according to reports has agreed to leave Barcelona if a good offer arrives. The news actually broke from Joao Cancelo. He came out saying that Xavi called Kessie and the player accepted the idea to leave the club. Following that, Franck Martinez from Deportivo came out saying that there was a meeting between Barcelona and Franck Kessie. The player asked for a more prominent role in the team, and Barcelona can guarantee it. Given the context, Kessie had now agreed to leave Barcelona as long as he gets an offer that appeals to him. At the moment, Kessie has an offer from Al Hilal. His idea was to go to England or Germany, and if he couldn't stay at Barcelona, but he is assessing the Al Hilal offer because he does not want to close any doors, and the offer on the table is very good. Having Miguel from AES also confirms as well, saying that Barcelona want a minimum of around 35 million euros from Franck Kessie, who is expected to be the first exit from the club. He has given the approval, and many clubs have maintained unofficial contact, but no official offer has been made so far. So again, meeting yesterday, Xavi told Kessie, look, I can't guarantee you a big role in the team. You will be again most likely a squad player next season. And Kessie said, okay, if that's the case, I'll keep my eyes open for offers on the table. Now, following all these reports, of course, Arda Guler was the first to break the news. Kessie's agency came out with an Instagram post absolutely tearing Arda Guler to shreds. They came out with a Instagram post saying, "Dear Arda Guler, we have remarked for the 10th time that you have published unfounded news concerning one of our clients, Franck Kessie. Despite ourselves, we inform those who follow us and above all those who follow you that you have never once given exact information regarding Kessie. Ethically, we find that it's totally wrong the way you're doing one's job, so please stop publishing unsustainable and misleading information present as news regarding our client." My freaking god, man. Since Jordi Cruyff has left, Romeu has been an absolute downturn. It's crazy how last summer he was the best Barcelona source, and even beginning of this year as well, and now he's kind of he's all right. Like, it's crazy. Now, I still think he's right. There's no way, not only Arda Guler, but also Clement Martinez and Miguel Olkin came out confirming there was a meeting and that his idea of a departure was there. I think just Arda Guler was the first one. They kind of went for his head first, but even if I was the agency, you still want to deny that because you want to keep the value up. You want to keep the salary at a sustainable level where you will accept a salary increase. So it's not an outlandish thing to do, but the fact they're targeting one journalist and his one information is what's crazy about it. But nonetheless, wait and see what happens. I still think Franck Kessie is bound to leave Barcelona in some way, shape, or form this summer. Apparently, El Nasser's back in for Kessie as well. Apparently, Galatasaray offered a loan with a buy option, which Barcelona have rejected, according to Sport. So the interest is there for Franck Kessie. I think getting 35 million euros, like Miguel says, is a bit, exceeding expectations. I think we'll probably get 25, 30. So wait and see with Kessie's future. But again, most likely, he will be the first out the exit door this summer. The next player who is also on the verge of the exit door is, of course, Clement Lenglet, where again, Arda Guler is reporting that Tottenham want to pay 10 million euros plus 5 million euros in variable for Lenglet, but Barcelona want a total fixed guarantee of 15 million euros. Now, when I first saw this, I'm thinking, there is no way this is true, because Tottenham are offering 5 million, a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago. They now brought up an extra 10 million euros. Again, Fabrizio Romano saying that Lenglet's not a priority. He's on their list. They want him, but he's not top 2 or top 3. They want that Wolfsburg center back and Tapsoba from Leverkusen. And then we got an exclusive from Barca Buzz from Ben Jacobs, who is close to the London clubs, you could say. He came out saying that Spurs are absolutely open to signing Clement Lenglet permanently, but they are playing on Barcelona's desire to get the wages off the books. They know that the club are desperate to sell. They're trying to negotiate a deal for 5 million or less. I was saying, if Arda Guler is right, the club should be accepting that right freaking now. There is no way they went from 5 million to offering 10 plus 5 and the club said no. Makes no sense whatsoever. Now, Roger Solero from Mundo Deportivo has come out saying that it is clear that Clement Lenglet will not leave Barcelona with a letter of freedom like Samuel Umtiti. Thank God. He is expected to start the preseason with Barcelona on the 10th, and plan accepted by all parties is the closest exits in 2 weeks at the most. Spurs is expected to be his destination. Barcelona initially wanted 15 million euros, but currently they're negotiating for a figure close to 10, and there can be some variables. So Arda Guler is kind of right and kind of not right. But if I see a picture of Lenglet on July the 10th and the Spotify training top, I'm going to lose my mind. How we have not got rid of him to now is blasphemy. Absolutely blasphemy. He's got on 16 million euros net. That is a ridiculous amount of money who you could say the majority of the squad ain't even worth. We'll wait and see what happens. Again, they expect the transfer to go through within the next 2 weeks. Hopefully it'll be in the next day or two, but the club really want to get the money they want for him. Again, if you sell him for 10, you pay him 16, you can, somewhat save some money. I get what the club are doing. I agree with it, but I do hope the process does speed up as soon as possible, because if Lenglet is on that plane to America, I think we're toasted. But the player who is the closest to the exit door as of this current moment is Alex Collado, and it looks like it will be the same way as Samuel Umtiti left, with a letter of freedom. Arda Guler is reporting that Alex Collado could leave the club by this weekend. The club will terminate his contract. This was confirmed by Gabriel Sanz from Deportivo. He came out saying that Alex Collado's departure is expected to be confirmed soon. His departure will save Barcelona about 2 million euros. He has 2 offers from Besiktas and also another club in Turkey, who I don't really want to try and pronounce their name at the moment. But termination of contract for Collado is currently on the table, most likely. Again, a few weeks ago, we talked about getting a fee for Collado around 3 million plus variables. Looks like he will walk for free by the end of this weekend. Now, a player's future at the moment that is currently very much in doubt to the point that we have absolutely no idea what's going to happen. It is, of course, for Sergino Dest. Now, Gerard Mayor is reporting that Barcelona wants to close the sale of Dest this week. We're going to sell Dest this week with not a single club being in concrete talks or interest for Dest. How? I have no idea. But Ben Aid is reporting that the current idea is that both Julian Araujo and Sergino Dest will start preseason, after which their futures will be evaluated. Now, start preseason, I don't know if he means by July the 10th at the Ciutat Esportiva Joan Gamper, Tito Villanova training camp, or if he means on the plane to America. Hopefully not that plane. I think what will happen is that he'll train for the first couple of days of preseason, then he'll realize he's not getting game time, stuff like that, he'll leave. Hopefully that is the case. With Julian Araujo, there is the possibility of him going out on loan. Apparently he will 100% be on that plane to America for preseason. Then after that, his future will be evaluated if Kounde stays right back and if Ivan Fresneda is coming in. So he might go out on loan in that case. But wait and see with Dest. I think, again, his future should be sorted out by now. Get rid of him. He's on 10 million net. Ridiculous fees that the former president, who I don't want to say his name anymore, is giving out left, right, and center. Just, we'll see. Again, apparently we're going to sell him this week, but no clubs are interested, no talks, nothing. I've heard Union Berlin, and that's about it. No one else. So we'll see what happens to Dest, but again, he is on the exit rim at Barcelona as the club are desperate to sell him. Now, a player's future that is currently uncertain is the future of Nico Gonzalez, who of course has returned from his loan move from Valencia. Sport are reporting that Porto are interested in Nico Gonzalez and have contacted Jorge Mendes to ask about his situation, and they would like to have him on loan for the upcoming season. But Fran Martinez Mundo Deportivo came out saying that Nico Gonzalez will have his chance. Xavi prefers to see him in preseason and is currently not ruled out that he could stay in the squad next season, but he's not viewed as a pivot. Nico maintains his intention to succeed at Barcelona. It is his dream, and he has rejected many offers in the past to stay at Barcelona. He is training daily with Eric Garcia to be able to offer his best version in preseason. Despite this, he's aware of the tough competition at Barcelona. If the coaches tell him that the best thing is to go out on loan for another year, he will accept it. He already has many offers on the table. If we're not keeping Nico for the pivot, I would just loan him out. I mean, he's not getting anywhere near the interior when you have Pedri, Gavi, Diog, and Gundogan. That's 5 already for 2 positions. I mean, he's got no chance. Pivot is where he has the opportunity. Although if you play Gundogan there, that opens up a block. But still, if you're gonna keep him as an interior, you'll just end up loading him in January. That's what's gonna happen. So if you're gonna play him in the pivot, I'd keep him. If not, I'd loan him out straight away and just get over with. So wait and see. I do hope he does go on preseason, and I do hope that Xavi does give him a run out in preseason in the pivot as well. See how he plays, because I think there could be a future there for him, especially like a backup role to someone who we signed, whether it's Oriol Romeu, Sofiane Amrabat, blah, blah, blah. I would like to keep Nico as a backup, but the coaches don't trust him, then the loan is the most likely outcome. Now, a player who will be 100% on the plane to America for preseason is, of course, Abde, where there are reports coming in saying that Xavi wants to see Abde in preseason. The Moroccan likes this idea, but at the same time, he looks further. He wants to enjoy many minutes like he did at Osasuna to continue growing, and it will be difficult to do that at Barcelona. Again, with Abde, very simple. If we sell one of Ferran or Ansu, he can stay and he can play in that role. If not, he is the one that has to go. I would not loan Abde. It's either sell or keep, and I would end up selling him if both Ferran and Ansu refuse to leave. Likely, best case scenario, I'd sell Ferran for 30, 35 and keep Abde. I'd rather have Abde and Ansu competing than have Ferran, in my opinion. But if Ferran wants to stay and Ansu wants to stay, it is what it is. You can't really have no cards to deal with, and I would sell Abde. I think his sale would be very, very important. Bringing in 25, 30 million euros would be huge for the club for, of course, registration purposes, and also spending that money as well elsewhere. So wait to see on Abde's future, but again, the club do want to see him in preseason, but he'll also, participate in preseason if he does have somewhat of a future as part of the first team. But a player who will be going out on loan this summer, and it is pretty much 100% confirmed at this point, is, of course, Pablo Torre, where Fran Martinez from Deportivo is reporting that Pablo Torre is currently in no hurry to decide his future. He will leave on loan. He is prioritizing joining La Liga side, but he's in no rush whatsoever. He could even go on the US tour for preseason. Now again, this just doesn't make sense. I mean, you have to integrate and you have to blend into your new team. You can't do preseason with one team and then join the other team just because for vibes. And you already know at this point you're not staying at Barcelona. And like I said, Pedri, Gavi, De Jong, Gundogan as the interiors, you've got no chance. No chance. Unless it's like the biggest injury crisis in the history of this club, you've got no chance. Has to go out on loan to the Lincoln side. It's already been agreed. Just now about the timing. Him going on preseason makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. He wants to train at Barcelona first week before we go on the US tour. That's fine, but him going on the flight makes no sense whatsoever. So we'll see what happens with Pablo Torre's future, but again, 100% at some point this summer, he will leave on loan. Now, a player who could potentially be leaving Barcelona again this summer, whoa, is Frenkie de Jong. I mean, I've heard this crap so many times. This is coming in again from Ben Aid, who is very, very reliable. He's come out saying that Barcelona don't rule out the option of selling Frenkie de Jong this summer, despite the reassuring statements. Look, the club don't rule out selling Lewandowski. They don't rule out selling Rafinha. They don't rule out selling Kounde. They don't rule out selling Christensen. They don't rule out selling Ferran Torres and Ansu Fati. That is just a very, very broad statement. Like, if an offer comes in for any player that's decent, the club will evaluate it. Joao Cancelo came out saying that Frenkie de Jong reassured Xavi again that he does not want to leave the club this summer, and rightfully so. I don't think Xavi wants to sell him, nor does the club, nor does the player want to leave. He's pregnant. His wife is pregnant. They're going to have a kid soon. It makes no sense. And again, everyone has a price. I think only Araujo, Balde, Pedri, Gavi will be, offers where the club would not sell them whatsoever. For $1 billion, they probably, maybe $1 billion, but like $100 million plus, they wouldn't sell them. Other players, if someone bids $100 million for Rafinha, the club will probably take it. Lewandowski $100 million bid, they'll probably take it. Frenkie de Jong $110 million bid, they'll probably take it. We're broke. But that bid ain't gonna come in unless United get bought by Saudi Arabia and they have a $1 billion transfer, transfer budget war chest. It ain't gonna happen. So we'll see with Frenkie de Jong again. He's gonna be the scapegoat when the club needs money, and where the reports have to include money being earned by Barcelona. Oh, Frenkie de Jong could be sold, but theoretically speaking, very unlikely a Frenkie de Jong sale will happen this summer. Now, the most interesting news that's come out over the past 48 hours has been the fact that Kounde now all of a sudden is open to playing at right back next season. This is what you love about Barcelona. Things just flip-flop, left, right, and center, and the content is just unreal, lads. First, the report was broke by Candacer. They came out saying that Jules Kounde will be Barcelona's right back next season, as Xavi has convinced him to play there. And Javi Miguel from AS confirmed this as well, saying that although Jules Kounde accepts the decision of playing at right back for the season, Barcelona still have not ruled out the signing of a natural right back this window, but they have other priorities right now. So again, the club still want to sign right back, even though Kounde has agreed to play there this upcoming season. Of course, Gabriel Sanz reported that in the event for Fresneda transfer. Pretty much confirmed at this point. I mean, you went from crying and saying that if you don't play me center back, I'm gonna assess my offers. The Xavi convincing you that he's gonna play you center back, to now him convincing you to play right back for another season. I mean, I'm all for it. I think Jules Kounde is a top top player, one of the best defenders I think in the world on his day. And if we play right back, center back, as long as he's happy, he wants to stay, I'm happy as well. So we'll most likely see a lot of Kounde at right back next season. Of course, if Fresneda can resign him and he breaks into the team, maybe then. But if we don't sign Fresneda and Dest doesn't leave, and then you're stuck with Julian Araujo and Sergino Dest, we'll see a lot of Kounde next summer. It depends on whether or not we sign a right back or not on his game time. I think what Xavi's told him, like, hey, look, we're gonna sign a right back, we're gonna try our best to sign a right back. You're gonna start the first few games while that right back gets integrated. And if we don't sign a right back, I want you to play there for another season. I think that's what Xavi's told him. But we'll wait and see how things develop. But apparently Kounde now officially open again to playing right back for another season after he almost left the club and complained for being considered as a right back. Let's now discuss some of the news starting in Barcelona over the past 48 hours. Firstly, we do have an update on our soon-to-be new signing in Inigo Martinez, where this deal has already been done for a few months now, since around February, and yesterday he was at the Ciutat Esportiva Joan Gamper taking his official announcement pictures. Again, it is Gigentes who have leaked the images. Radamero's news company. He's still doing some good work despite getting blasted by Kessie's agency. We are hearing that Inigo Martinez will be announced officially today as a new Barcelona player, contract until 2025, 2-year deal, 1-year option. should be announced by the time I upload this video. If it's not announced, it's going to be coming in soon. Now, Jaime Miguel from AS came out saying that Inigo Martinez had a photographic session at the club's facilities yesterday. He also went to Ciudad Deportiva to do some cardiovascular work. Of course, he is haggling a little bit of an injury, and met Alejandro Balde in the locker room, who is recovering from his ankle injury. So again, Martinez getting integrated, getting into the club's facility. Again, he still has to train a bit to get back. He had a surgery, I believe, 3 weeks ago or so, but his signing will be officially announced today. It will be announced today. Now, the main topic for Barcelona this summer has been, of course, registration, and we're still waiting the registration of some of the contract renewals at the club, like Balde, Araujo, Alonso, Iñaki Peña, Sergio Roberto. Roger from Deportivo is reporting that Barcelona want to register the new contracts of Araujo and Gavi, currently registered by a court, Alonso, Roberto, and Peña this week before preseason starts on July the 10th. After the next player to renew and be registered will be Alejandro Balde. Of course, Araujo, Gavi, Alonso, Roberto, Peña's renewals are all already confirmed, while Alejandro Balde's hasn't. Kobe came out confirmed this as well, saying that yesterday at 12 p.m. CET, the Barca executives will sign the documents for the 6.6 million euros guarantee that will allow the registration of Araujo, Gavi, Alonso, Roberto, and Peña. Vice President Rafael Uste has already arrived at the club's offices to sign the paperwork. So again, it has been signed. The club board, the Barcelona board, have given up 6.6 million euros of their own money to register these, contract renewals. And then now all they have to do next is officially announce the renewal of Alejandro Balde, which again there is a full agreement for. Just waiting for pending green light, similar to the Vitor Roque operation. It was done for a while, just got the green light. Still waiting for that for Alejandro Balde's renewal. So again, all the renewals should be registered by the start of preseason on July the 10th. After that, the focus will be on, of course, registering new signings. So that was my reaction to the Barcelona news over the past 48 hours. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and of course, leave your thoughts down below in the comments on everything we discussed. The main thing I want to first, of course, is your thoughts on Arda Guler's decision between Barcelona and Real Madrid, with him most likely picking Real Madrid. Second, your thoughts on Fresneda and Oriol Romeu being signed by Barcelona. I think it will happen this week, or maybe a worst case scenario by the end of next week before preseason starts. Third, your thoughts on those sales, of course, for Lenglet, Kessie, Collado, Dest, and also the futures of Nico and Abde. And finally, your thoughts on Jules Kounde agreeing to play at right back for the upcoming season. And of course, make sure you guys subscribe down below if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys next time on the channel. Take care, and Forza Barca.